Welcome back into the dark side of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're ranking the top 10 MCU villains based on their writing. So, let's get started. At number 10, we have Johann Schmidt, also known as the Red Skull. He is the head of Hydra.
Hail Hydra.
Hey, Hydra!
A paramilitary organization which was separated from the Nazi regime. Both Hydra and Nazis had the same goal to conquer the world. Unlike the Nazis, Red Skull's focus was on creating powerful super soldiers, regardless of their racial identity. Red Skull knew the power of the Tesseract, but he didn't know that someone like Captain America would ever stop him from conquering the world. He also didn't anticipate that he would be trapped in a spooky place to protect the Soul Stone for eternity.
It is my curse to know all who journey here.
Big mistake. At number 9, we have Eric Killmonger. So Killmonger's story starts off pretty rough. His dad gets taken out by T'Chaka, the king of Wakanda. That sets Eric on a path of deep anger and revenge. Living in exile, he becomes a seriously trained soldier with one goal: take down T'Challa, the new Black Panther and king of Wakanda. Now, what's interesting about Killmonger is that he's not just out for power for the sake of it. He wants to use Wakanda's crazy tech to help oppressed folks around the world. Noble goal, right? Problem is, his way of doing things is pretty ruthless. He's ready to do whatever it takes, no matter who gets hurt.
This is for my father.
What makes Killmonger really stand out is that you kinda get where he's coming from. His backstory is tragic, and he's trying to address some serious global issues, even if his methods are extreme. Then comes the big showdown. Killmonger challenges T'Challa for the throne. It's not just a fight, it's a clash of ideas.
I lived my entire life waiting for this moment.
Killmonger's got this charisma, and you can see the logic in what he's saying, even if you don't agree with his methods. In the end, Killmonger leaves a mark on Wakanda. His legacy goes beyond just being a bad guy. He makes Wakanda and its people question their place in the world.
I had the courage to do what was necessary to change Wakanda.
At number 8, we have Hala, the goddess of death, bringing her own brand of destruction to the MCU. As the firstborn of Odin and older sister to Thor, Hala is no stranger to Asgardian power.
Kneel.
Beg your pardon.
Released from her prison after Odin's death, she storms onto the scene with a vengeance. Hala wants to reclaim her rightful place as the ruler of Asgard, and she's not about to let anyone, especially her little brother Thor, stand in her way. Hala stands out. She's got serious fighting skills and knows all the dark secrets of Asgard.
We were unstoppable. I was his weapon in the conquest that built Asgard's empire.
Armed with her lethal blades and the ability to summon weapons on the fly, she's a goddess you wouldn't want to mess with. But it's not just about physical strength and abilities. Hela's character digs into the consequences of uncontrolled ambition and the darker side of Asgard's past.
One by one, the realms became ours.
As she reveals the true history of Odin's conquests, it adds a twist to her character, making things more interesting. The clash between Thor and Hala is intense, showcasing the scale of her power.
So simple. Even a blind man could see it.
Exposing the hidden truths and dark past of the kingdom's secrets and sins. In the end, Hala leaves a lasting impact on the MCU, reshaping the Asgardian landscape. Her character brings a mix of raw power, familial conflict, and a dive into Asgard's dark past. At number 7, we have Gore the God Butcher, a significant player in the MCU. So he goes on a mission to kill a bunch of gods using this crazy weapon called the All Black, the Necrosword.
All gods will die.
That's why they call him the God Butcher. What makes Gore stand out is that he just doesn't give up. With each god he takes down, he gets stronger and more determined. Gore's character brings a different vibe to the MCU, asking questions about what it means to be a god and what happens when they ignore regular folks. He's a tough opponent, and his story makes you think.
Protect my love.
At number 6, we've got He Who Remains, also known as Kang, causing a stir in the MCU. Kang's story begins with a brilliant scientist who discovers time-traveling technology.
Naturally, they made contact, and for a while, there was peace. Narcissistic, self-congratulatory peace.
As he explores different times and places, he encounters alternate versions of himself, each with distinct personalities and motivations.
So let's stop wasting time.
He was the guy in charge of keeping the multiverse from turning into a giant mess. What makes Kang stand out is his ability to play with time.
Don't you wonder how I'm able to get out of the way just before you kill me.
It's like having a superpower that lets you jump between different moments in history and even peek into alternate realities. Kang's got this crazy job of managing time and preventing a big mess in the multiverse.
The madness leading to another multiversal war.
He was like the time police, making sure everything stays in order. Everything changed when Loki took charge, and now Kang is nothing more than a candle maker. At number 5, we have the master manipulator and strategist, Zemo. While he doesn't have superhuman abilities or advanced technology, Zemo's intellect makes him a great villain. Zemo's brilliance lies in his ability to manipulate situations to his advantage. His masterstroke was perhaps the orchestration of the Avengers. Zemo cleverly played on the Avengers' internal conflicts and ideological differences, causing them to turn on each other. What sets Zemo apart from most of the other villains is his belief that he is the hero of his own story. He is driven by a warped sense of justice and revenge, rather than a desire for world domination or power. His strategic mind and manipulative tactics prove that one doesn't need superpowers or alien technology to pose a significant threat to the world's mightiest heroes. At number 4, we have Ultron.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
This artificial intelligence was initially created to protect the world. However, things went sideways when Ultron decided that the best way to achieve peace was to exterminate humanity. Ultron quickly became a threat, not just because of his raw strength and intelligence, but also for his ability to upload himself into other robotic bodies. His complete lack of empathy made him a machine with the voice and mind of a sociopath.
Do you see the beauty of it? The inevitability. You rise, only to fall.
It is funny that Ultron is considered a villain, but he just did what he was told to do. At number 3, we have Thanos. In Infinity War, Thanos showed us his true power. One by one, he collected the Infinity Stones, outsmarting and overpowering Earth's mightiest heroes and the Guardians of the Galaxy. His goal was simple.
All 6 stones, I could simply snap my fingers. They would all cease to exist. I call that mercy.
Erase half of all life in the universe to achieve what he believed was a twisted form of balance. In one of the most shocking moments in MCU history, Thanos became the villain who won.
You should have gone for the head.
But even in defeat during Endgame, his brute strength and his strategic mind make him one of the greatest villains the Avengers have ever faced. He changed the whole MCU future with his actions. Thanos definitely earns his number 3 spot on our list. At number 2, we have Loki. Loki has the best character development in the whole MCU. As Thor's brother, he was always compared to the god of thunder, consistently living in his shadow, leading to feelings of resentment and jealousy. However, Loki was never a typical villain. Beneath his mischief and schemes, he was a complex character. He felt overlooked, unappreciated, and these feelings fueled his actions. Over the years, we saw Loki evolve. He learned valuable lessons about trust, loyalty, and love. He began to use his intelligence not to create chaos, but to help those around him. Despite his transformation, Loki never lost his edge. He remained unpredictable, always keeping us guessing. Loki's journey from villain to hero is one of the most surprising in the whole MCU. And finally, at number 1, the villain who has ascended the throne in the MCU. It's none other than Wilson Fisk, better known as Kingpin, from the Daredevil series. Now, you might be wondering why Kingpin, a character from a TV show, has topped our list, especially when there are villains who've threatened the entire universe. Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, is not your typical villain. He doesn't command alien armies or wield infinity stones. He's a man whose ambition and ruthless determination have made him the king of New York's underworld. This is a villain who doesn't just make you fear, he makes you feel. Kingpin's motivations are not grandiose. He doesn't aim to destroy or rule the universe. Kingpin's motivation is more personal and grounded. He seeks control of Hell's Kitchen to shape it in his own twisted vision. This personal, grounded ambition makes Kingpin relatable, making his battles with Daredevil not just physical, but ideological. That's why Kingpin is our number 1 MCU villain.